In a crumbling Soviet city once called Leningrad, a boy was born in 1952. His name, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. Raised in a communal apartment with no hot water, no siblings, and barely enough food, his childhood was not cushioned by comfort. It was carved out of survival. His father, a wounded World War II veteran. His mother, a factory worker who barely escaped the siege of Leningrad. They taught him discipline, silence, and the cost of war. Putin didn't just endure the chaos, he thrived in it. As a restless young boy, he often fought in the streets. But inside, something colder and sharper was forming. He turned his fury into focus. He studied law, read spy novels, and began practicing judo. By 16, he was a disciplined fighter. By 22, a university graduate with one dream, the KGB. The KGB accepted him. Not for charm, but for control. He trained in surveillance, foreign languages, counterintelligence. He learned to observe without speaking, to strike without warning. In the 1980s, he was stationed in East Germany. From behind tinted windows in Dresden, he watched the Berlin Wall begin to fall. When the protesters came for the Soviet compound, Moscow went silent. Putin didn't panic. He went outside, alone, and stared them down. They walked away. This moment shaped him. When the Soviet Union collapsed, so did the world he knew. Putin returned to Russia, a country in chaos. He started over in St. Petersburg, working under Mayor Sobchak. While the country bled corruption, Putin played chess with politics. Quiet moves. No spotlight. And then, he rose. In 1998, Boris Yeltsin appointed him director of the FSB. In 1999, he was prime minister. By New Year's Eve, Yeltsin resigned. Suddenly, Vladimir Putin was president. He didn't ask for power. He took it. His first actions were swift and ruthless. He crushed the Chechen rebellion. He tamed the oligarchs. He centralized authority. And he reintroduced Russia to the world, not as a struggling democracy, but as a strong sovereign force. The West was confused. His own people were impressed. He built a cult of image. Fishing bare-chested in Siberia. Flying jets. Scoring goals in hockey games. To some, a joke. To millions, a symbol of stability and strength. In 2008, he stepped aside, formally. But power never left his hands. He returned as president in 2012, this time more assertive, more global. In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea. International outrage followed. Sanctions tightened. But at home, Putin's approval soared. He had restored pride. He had taken what Russians believed was theirs. In 2018, he hosted the World Cup. Smiling in the rain, he shook hands with presidents and kings. The message, Russia is here, and I am its voice. Then came 2022. Russia invaded Ukraine. The world froze. Allies left. Markets crashed. But Putin didn't blink. He called it a special operation. Critics called it war. Inside Russia, media was censored. Voices silenced. The constitution was rewritten. Putin could now rule until 2036. He became the longest-serving Kremlin leader since Stalin. Some called him a dictator. Others, a defender. He formed new alliances with China, Iran, and BRICS nations. Turned eastward as the West turned its back. He no longer cared for approval. Only control. Now in 2025, Vladimir Putin remains the most feared, studied, and debated leader in the world. He doesn't lead with tweets. He leads with silence, precision, and the weight of history behind his eyes. From a nameless child in a war-torn courtyard, to a man whose decisions shake the planet. He was not born into power. He built it, stone by stone. And his story is still being written.